So yeah, we're gonna do our run strength today. This is our Whistler Half Marathon seminar series, and today is about run strength. So first one we're gonna do is our mobility, and we are gonna start with some mountain climbers. Okay, we're gonna do them off the ground, and we're gonna do a little bit of a modification with those. Most of you guys know we're gonna start on the floor. So I think I can, yep, here we go. Get my production crew here with me. That's me too. Okay, so we're gonna start on all fours. First thing we're gonna do before we do our mountain climbers is just go through our cat and cow. So these are just meant to warm up the back. I really like to be mindful of as I'm doing them. So right here would be this triangular bone at the base of my spine is called my sacrum. And what I'm going to do when I do a cat stretch, most people, when I watch them, they'll do a lot of this. This is thoracic, okay, flexion. And most people are mobile through here. What they're missing is the low back, flexion and extension. So what I want you to think about is that right here is that triangular bone, right up from it is the low back. When you do a cat stretch, I want you to think of letting the tailbone sink down behind you, and then you're going to engage your belly button, and you're going to help to open up that low back area. I'm going to press into my hand, scapula slide wide on the back, and then when I go back down, I'm going to think of reaching away, and I'll put this other hand there, reaching away with my sacrum to come down. So really make sure, if you see my hand right here, that when I do my cat stretch, it's going to be my sacrum initiating first and then coming back down. So really think about that low back. And some people, we can even do isolation where we're actually holding the shoulder blades just in one place, and I'm really focusing on that low back area. Okay, so that's our cat and cow. Don't forget to add the head into the motion. We don't have to go into lots of extension up at the top, but definitely I want to tuck that chin. My belly button is engaging, abdominals engaging, flex the spine, and back to neutral. From here, I'm just going to spread my fingers nice and wide. I'm going to tuck my toes down. I'm going to engage my core, shoulder blades back and down. If I lift my knees off the ground, I'm just going to press back. And now I'm into my what I call a downward dog. This is a wonderful way just to stretch hammies, hamstrings, and calves. I like to do a little pedaling there. Stretches out my calves. And then when I go into my mountain climber, what I'm going to do in this position, it's that long arm plank position, and I'm just going to step a foot forward towards my hand. I'm going to add rotation of my body. We need that upper body rotation for running. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to come back down, my leg steps back, other side, and rotate. And let's just go through 8 of these, okay? If you don't have enough strength, right? I can be almost like a modified push-up position here. My knees are on the ground, but I can still step forward into that lunge, rotate. Okay, if I have bad knees, hey, what about this? I can go off a chair. So I'm right here. My knees don't have to be on the ground. Nice tight plank position. Step that leg forward, rotate up. Okay, there is always an option. So on the floor, off a chair, off your coffee table, off your knees, and we rotate. Fantastic. Okay. We're going to come back onto our mats. And this time we're going to do what we call some leg crossovers. So this time I'm going to lay out on my back. Can you see me still? I kind of missed it. There. Oh, there we go. Okay, here. So I'm out here. I'm going to lift the leg up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cross that leg across my body. Same time I do that, my eyes are going to look the other way. Good. I'm going to lift the leg up and back down. Other side lifts up. I rotate across. My eyeballs go the opposite way of my leg, and I'm trying to keep both shoulder blades on the ground. Let's just go through a couple more. Rotate, Good. Rotate. And last ones here. Rotate. Good. And rotate. Nice. Okay. So after we've done our rotation, we're going to go into some hip hinges. Okay. So now we're going to come up to standing. Get my camera crew here working for me again. All right. Hip hinge. Hip hinge is like doing a karate chop at my hip crease, not my hip bow, my hip crease. If I think about my spine, okay, base of my skull, down to my sacrum, I want my spine to move in one unit and back up. So I'm going to switch those hands so you can see here as I'm moving, that sacrum is lifting up. Now, lots of people go, well, I'm really flexible and I can come down here. Well, my back's not really flat. And a lot of times when people do that, their sacrum stays here and they're actually flexing through the low back. We want to keep this nice solid core position. So I'm always moving my spine in one unit. That's my hip hinge. As I do my hip hinge too, I'm going to focus on what's happening at my legs and my feet. So when I hip hinge, I want to make sure my feet are flat on the ground, my arches are lifted, big toe on the ground, arches lifted, and I'm going to engage my glutes. If you can see my knees just rotating out just slightly, that all I'm doing is activating glutes. Our arches lifted, active glutes, and then as I hinge, I'm going to keep active through the glutes and back up. Okay, keep active through those glutes and back up. What I see sometimes is that the knees will start to buckle in. Guess what? Glutes aren't on anymore. Okay, we need to keep that stability. My knee is in a line with my pinky toe. This is going to be important when we move to single leg. So just start to think about that. As I do that hinge, I should starting to feel the stretch of my sit bones. If you have a hockey stick or a broom, you put it on your back. You try and keep 3 points of contact. So if I take my little stick, my whatever you call this right here, my rope, I've got 3 points of contact, which is my head, my mid back, and my sacrum. And I keep those 3 points as I move. Best way to do this, okay? Making sure, I see some people that want to do that big arch, and we just pull the rib cage down, everything in alignment, keeping it in alignment. Okay, hip hinge. Next one we're going to do is some heel, just actually what we call hamstring sweeps. So this is a nice one as a warm up. I'm just going to take one foot in front of the other, like that. I'm going to hinge, same hip hinge, and I'm going to reach my arms down towards the ground. I'm going to sweep them along the ground and reach them up overhead. I'm going to go on the other side, switch those legs, do the same thing. Let's go through 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Another warm-up one I like to do is a lunge back with the toe up. So here on this one, a lunge is one leg forward, one leg back. I can lower down quite a bit, but I don't have to. I don't have to lower down too much. Can be in this position here. I always want to make sure my weight is in my front heel. Okay, my knee is over top of my ankle. I'm not way forward here. My heel isn't up. My heel is down. That's going to engage my glutes. Big toe joint is down. I'm going to move from this position and I'm going to drive up with that knee up. Or if I want to extend that leg, I'm going to reach that leg forward and touch my toe. Okay. I want us to do 8 on each leg. Okay, so we're going to lunge back. We're going to come up. 1, good, 2, driving up, 3, the knee is in line with the pinky toe. It's not buckling forward. 4 or medial. 5, 6, 7, woo, and 8. I'm gonna go to the other side, same thing. So I'm gonna get into my little lunge position. I'm gonna make sure more weight's in my heel, knee towards that pinky toe. And as I'm transferring weight through that foot, I wanna make sure I'm gonna engage the glute. I'm gonna stand tall. And as I'm reaching forward, if my hamstrings are tight and I'm doing this, I'm never gonna touch my toes, right? So remember, we want a nice tall posture, so you might bend your knee. Go through, you got 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good, and 8. Nice. Next one we're going to do is we're going to do a lunge, forward and back. Again, when we do these, we don't have to go really deep, but what we're going to do is we're going to think about keeping our hips moving or staying facing forward as our upper body rotates. This is what happens normally in running. I'm going to be generating a little bit of rotation through here. You might actually see some people that run really wide and they're kind of balancing out here. Okay, we want the elbows to be in. It's soft, soft joint or through the shoulders. And as I go through, whichever knee is forward, opposite elbow. And as I transfer, I'm going to rotate other way. And then I'm going to step back. So we're going to go rotating forward and back. We're going to go 1, 4 times. 2, 3, and 4. Good. Switch legs. Same thing. Now step back, rotate. Got that opposite elbow. Okay. 1. Whoops. 2, 3, and 4. Great. Good. Okay. We're now going to go on to the mats again. And this time we're going to do an exercise for core and glutes. I'm going to show you the difference between activating through your glutes and activating through your hamstrings. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to lie down on our backs. Our knees are going to be bent. This is basically a hip lift, but we're going to add something to it. And we're going to make it different from what we do if we were doing a yoga class. Okay. So here, I'm on my back. Now, I like to say neutral spine. Neutral means that my sacrum, we all know what the sacrum is now. I'm talking about the lats triangle, right? That's flat on the floor. I've got slight arch in my low back. I'm not making an arch. It just is the natural arch. My heels nice and close to my sit bones, and my feet are in line with my sit bones. I'm not nice and close with my legs out to the side. I'm nice and close in. Kneecaps up towards the ceiling. From here, in my neutral position, if I place my hands on my ribs, when I lift up, you'll see that my hips are doing the lifting. I'm not trying to lift from my ribs, okay? We want to make the glutes do the work. When glutes fire, they're going to help to open up the front of our hips. So from here, if I press through those heels, I'm going to tuck my pelvis, I'm tightening my glutes, and I'm lifting up. When we do a hip march, what we want to try and do, and this is a strength progression. First of all, we start with those arms on the ground. From here, I'm going to tighten glutes, knees are towards the ceiling, and now I'm going to pull my belly button in towards my spine. That's my core on. And I'm going to lift one leg, just a little bit, place it down, and lift the other leg. What I'm trying to do is prevent any hip shifting or rotating, okay? When I lift this leg up, nothing should move. Now, my elbows are down, right? So I'm doing a little bit of supporting here. That's fine. This is where I start. If I go, that's pretty easy. I'm going to take those arms away, cross them across my chest. And from here, I'm going to lift one leg without letting my hips shift or rotate. If I'm weak in my glutes, what usually happens is I do a little bump. All right. I have to let somebody in to the room. Excuse me. There we go. So here, lifting up, rib cage down, core tight, glutes on, arms across the chest. I like to do these for endurance. So I like to do up to 20. Okay. And if you're unsure, with your arms off the ground, you can just have your hands on the hips and make sure they're not rotating or shifting. If you feel this in your low back, it's because either your core or your glutes are not firing. So figure it out and try to make sure that as you lift up, you're not lowering. Okay, I want to be in this like power pose here so that if I was to do a single leg hip lift, boom, this leg stays at 90. I'm nice and solid all the way up. Okay, so we do those marches. And as I say, I like to do up to 20. Okay, focus on the glutes. Now, I did say I'm going to tell you the difference between the glutes and the hammies. When my heels are in nice and close, this is glutes. The minute I pull them away and I lift up, now I'm into my hammies. Glutes are going to fire a little bit, but this is more hamstring focused. If you have ever had a hamstring strain or anything, what we normally do is an isometric exercise. Isometric means that we're neither, oh, look at the sun on me. Nice. We're neither lengthening or shortening the muscle. Isometric means the muscle stays the same length when I'm doing an exercise. So here, if I plant my legs there and I lift up, now my heels are way far away from my glutes. And then I can even, ooh, did you see me roll? Yeah, there. I can try and do those same lifts, but now I'm into hammies, okay? So a little bit different. And again, if you let your legs go too far away, your hamstrings might cramp. So you just bring them back in. Start closer, and then as you get stronger, you get them all the way to their right out, and you can still lift up and you can lift the leg. That's what I'm working on. Not yet there, but you always got to have something to work on, right? So trying those ones. That's your hip lift. All right, we're coming up to standing. We are going to go through 4 exercises. It's going to be a series that we're going to do of these 4 exercises. And what we're going to try and do is 10 repetitions of each exercise. So I will show you what the exercises are first. Then we're going to try and do 10 of them. Your goal is to try and stay single leg balancing throughout so that you're never coming back to both feet on the ground and resting. You're just going to try and do 40 repetitions standing on the one leg. Okay, I'll show you the 4 exercises. So stand back here, get into the mirror, that would be my Zoom. Okay, so here, the first one I'm going to do, so I'm going to be standing on my one leg. I'm going to work on doing that hinge at my hip. I'm going to touch my toe out to the side. I want to make sure my knee is in line with my pinky toe. From here, I'm going to stand up. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Here, I'm going to hinge and up. What you'll notice is when I hinge, I am not dropping into my knee. I'm moving through my hip. When I move through my hip, I target glutes. When I drop through my knee, I'm all in my quads. Get out of your quads, shift back, get into glutes. So exercise number 1 is the toe touch. Exercise number 2 is going to be the heel touch right in front of my other toe. And then I'm going to come up to stand. Heel touch and stand. 3, I'm now going to hinge, reach my foot back, hopefully not take out any furniture in the process, and reach my arms forward. See that long, long line there? I'm really reaching as I'm drawing back on that femur. From there, I'm going to stand up tall. Reach, stand up tall. The last exercise we're going to do in that series is what we call almost like a curtsy squat. So why we do the curtsy? When I pull that leg behind me, I'm actually letting my glute kind of go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use those glutes to pull my femur back underneath me and stand up nice and tall, lifting my arm. I'm going to let that hip go and up. Everything works off a hinge. That's why we wanted to do the hinge at the beginning. Okay, so pick a leg. We're going to go through 40 of these. 10 repetitions of these 4 exercises. All right? I fall over all the time, so don't worry if you fall over. This is a great way to work your balance and target foot strength if you're doing it in bare feet. If you're doing it in your shoes, fine too. And just to build up some endurance. So let's go. We're standing on the one leg, okay, for a few seconds. And we're going to do that toe touch. Stand up nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're doing that hinge. 5, not moving through the knee. 6, 7, nice and tall. 8, core is on. 9, 10, heel tap. Heel, 1, 2, stay on that leg, nice and strong. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, should be feeling it. 8, 9, 10, stay there. Reach. 1, 2, 3, stay heavy on the heel. 4, 5, woohoo, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Curtsy, here we go. Sweep. If I can get there, there we go. 1, whoa. Good. 2, pull in and up, tighten it at the top. 3, that little extra tightening will really fatigue it. 4, 5, whoo-hoo, 6, 7, good. 8, 9, 10. Welcome to the city. Great little horn honking out there. Okay, whoo, that was good. All right, switching to your other leg. Hope that you got the hang of all the hip things. We want fatigue, and I want you to work through the fatigue. Ready. Other side. Standing up nice and tall. Hinge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heel tap right here. 1. Good. And if you start to lose the balance, try to regain it. 4, 5, 6, 7, up tall. 8, 9, and 10. Reaching back. Here we go. 1. Ooh, this one's tricky for me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Curtsy, here we go, sweep. Same arm as the back leg, 1, woo, and I fall over, 2, come on, 3, fight for it, 4, 5, 6, pull it in and up, 7, 8, 9, good, and 10. Woo. Those, the best running exercises ever, ever, ever. Okay, really good. They're targeting so much. We're getting that hip movement. We're getting that knee alignment, working through our glutes. These are great, actually, knee rehabilitation exercises too. You're not going too deep, but we're still having to target. So many times when people injure their knee, the small little muscle at the front of the knee, the VMO, vastus medialis, stops working. It's innervated with the glute med. So those exercises that we're doing are great for all of that, okay? So I hope that hurt your glutes as much as it hurts mine, okay? I also have a really bad bunion on one of my feet, my left foot, the one I struggle with balance. So I collapse a lot on that side. So for me, you'll see I mainly have my hands on my hips when I do this. And that is so that I can keep the alignment and make sure I'm not rotating. I like to keep like straight, and it really helps me stabilize for my feet, okay? So on to bigger and better things, right? Yay. I did see that there might have been a comment. Sharing is caring, thank you. All right, so now we're gonna do our single leg hip hinge. So this time we're going to work on, so this was our hip hinge here, right? Now what I'm gonna do is a single leg hip hinge. Now Russ was asking, hey, do we need weights? This is a great exercise to weight. And how you would weight this exercise, so getting ahead of myself, stop, breaks. Okay, let's just practice the single leg hip hinge. So if we do 5 on one leg, 5 on the other, again, I'm moving through my hip crease. I'm gonna make sure that knee is over towards the pinky toes, and I'm gonna reach with that back leg. I can activate that back glute and stand up, okay? So go through 5 of those on one leg. Good. And then try 5 on the other. Now I do have a little hamstring issue on my side. So you can see I'm going to, it's really good to get the movement pattern. So I have a hamstring strain. I'm going to assist. The other way I can assist is I can just put my toe right here. Now I can still hinge. First I got to balance. Okay. I can still hinge, and I want to pattern and target into those glutes. I'm just using my toe ever so lightly. Okay. And I can even just assist for the time I need the assistance and then come to standing. All right. So even with my little strain, I'm still going to try and get the movement patterns happening and get my alignment. Now, that one, again, it's great for getting your stability. You can add to this exercise by either an elastic around the knees. And now as you pull on that elastic, what's going to happen is that elastic is going to want to pull your knee medially. And you're going to target into it. So elastic around my knees, pulling it apart, and I'm going to press in with that other knee. All right, again, that's a little bit added strength. If I want to activate a little bit more through core, I'm going to stand on my right leg, hold a weight on my left, and now I'm going to hinge. Now, how does this activate core? So if core is preventing rotation from happening in the body, So if I just let myself rotate down and come back up, I'm actually not really targeting core. I'm going to stabilize here, shoulder blade back, and come up. Stabilize and up. Okay, so offset on that leg. Standing on the right, using that left. That's me one for that one. Now, another great one to do, if I have a weight or a small ball, whatever I might have, I'm going to stand on my one leg and I'm going to go around the world. This is a great one to do with kettlebells. And what you're going to do is 10 times on one side, going one way, 10 times around the other way, changing that direction. Again, finding stability. If you want to make this even harder, you stand on a basu, stand on a disc. Okay, but again, ankle proprioception. Okay, I'm going to be working that. My ankle is going to find its place. If I want to really test that, if I don't have any kind of dizziness, vertigo, whatever, I can actually practice standing on one leg and closing my eyes, okay? And I can close my eyes, and what I'm gonna feel is that my muscles all of them are gonna start to work a lot more, right? Fantastic training, especially after an ankle injury, okay? If you're getting back from an ankle injury, you must activate the proprioceptors of the muscles. The best way, as I say, to do that is closing the eyes. I think my mother, who is 91, can balance on one leg longer than I can. Okay, so I do not practice this, and what I've just realized is that I need to. So excellent, love having things to work on. All right, so that's some of our single leg. We've got those 4 exercises that we're doing, right? Toe touch, heel touch, reach back, curtsy, all on one side, okay? Then we have our hip hinge. So I love doing a hip hinge. That one's excellent. Offset it with the weight, whatever you need to do. And just being mindful of time. And then with that hip hinge, I can elastic my knees. Okay, I can just do one knee, whatever. The elastics are fantastic to, again, they just bring a little proprioception to my knee to say, hey, come on, you've got to activate. Make sure that activation is coming from the glutes and you're not just pushing your knee out. Okay, that's pretty important. All right, now we get some fun stuff happening, and that is some planks. Okay, so back onto your mat, and I'll shift. Get my film crew here. Awesome. Film crew is also in charge of the fan, so you know. All right, we're going to start off with our plank here. Okay, and we're going to do some variations. So we're going to start off with our front plank. Now, when we're doing a front plank, in order to target core, there's a great one that we start off with. And this one I love to do because even though it seems really basic, you'll actually feel a lot of muscle activation. So I like to start in my little Sphinx position here. So my elbow is right underneath my shoulder blades are back and down, my belly is down. I'm going to tuck my toes and my knees are going to stay on the ground. The first thing I'm going to do here is pull my belly button up towards my spine and just lift up onto my knees, not through my back, but just lifting my belly button up. Are you shaking it? I am. Okay. So all I've done here, gone from my belly on the ground, I'm going to draw my rib cage down, my belly button lifts up, and I'm up onto those knees. This is called an 8-point plank. Fantastic place to start. If I can hold here and I feel okay, I'm then going to extend those legs. Okay, I haven't gone into the shoulders yet, and I'm not doing this with the hands. There's a reason why. When I start to engage with my arms here, I'm actually going to come in and use my pecs. So I can be here, my belly's hanging on the ground, and I'm actually using a lot of my upper body strength. I can probably hold that for quite a long time. I want to take it out. I want to get into feeling my muscles, like those small little muscles, almost making me want to shake. And that's where I'm going to hold that plank. Shoulder blades always pull down, and my belly button lifts up. Okay, you're going to hold your plank as long as you can. But the minute that you start to feel any pain or discomfort through your low back, that is a sign that your core muscles have turned off. So you either try to reconnect or you need to drop down, reset, and lift back up. All right. There's a couple of variations we can do here in this plank. So here, I can either do toe taps to the side. Okay. I can do a heel lift. And when I lift that heel, I'm actually going to think about staying long through my low back. Okay, I don't want to drop. Stay long, stay long. I can do all of those in my long arm plank here, and I can do my mountain climbers. Okay. So we've got our front plank. I got hot from all those single leg things. And we can do side planks. All right, side planks, variations. Elbow, always underneath my shoulder. Okay, if I start here, what I want to do is press down. And as you can see, my shoulder's moving away from my ears. That's going to set my lat. I want my lats on. If I'm not strong enough yet, and I'm starting off, I'm going to do my plank off my knees. When I get this, I want my body in one long straight line. Wouldn't that be nice? And we're going to have a long line. And as I press up, right, I'm going to press down into the elbow and I'm going to lift. I'm going to press my lower knee, my bottom knee is going to press into the floor. Okay, and that's going to help me lift up. Belly button pulls into the spine. I can do my leg lifts here. I can hold. I could do a knee drive, okay? But do think about pressing down with that knee into the mat because we want the bottom glute to engage. If I'm doing it off both feet, okay, so I'm going to do off my straight legs. Again, set shoulder blade back and down. I'm going to lift up. Bottom ankle off the floor. That's going to work the eversion of the foot, those lower muscles. And from here, I love the single leg knee raise. You want to work up to doing sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, and then you want to try and work up to completing an endurance set of 30 knee drives. Okay? Fun, I know, so much fun. Let's try on the other side. Okay, other side, again. Press down into my elbow first, legs extended. I'm either got that bottom knee bent or both legs straight. I want to lift up from here, right through my core. And then again, my bottom ankle lifted, and I'm going to lift up. Okay, my glute, my bottom glute is on. If your glute isn't on, people like, you'll try to lift your top leg and it will feel like 1,000,000 pounds, but it's because the bottom leg isn't engaged. So we need to have that bottom leg engagement. So again, you might just come up here. If you're having to use the other hand, it's too much. Drop down, go into the knee, lift up. Start here, progress out. If you have shoulder issues, this is probably not the best one for you to do. It should not cause you any pain or discomfort. You do have to find your lats and build up the strength. All right. You might just start here and just be doing a leg lift. What you are going to focus on is keeping, and you don't have to look like you're on the beach. You can be right down here. Keep a long waist. And that will be challenging to do. So if I get into my long line, I'm going to have to use my core to stabilize. I'm going to reach long through that top leg, out through my heel, but I am not going to let my waist collapse. Reach away. My waist should always stay the same length. Okay, it's never shortening. All right, now that's working outer thigh. What about inner thigh? Well, crisscross, applesauce. Okay, if anybody has kids, you get that. All right, we're gonna cross the legs. So I'm gonna take my top leg's coming forward, bottom leg back. I'm gonna lift up here. And what I'm gonna do is if I have sliders, if I have a hardwood floor and I've got my socks on my feet or my dish towel, I can actually slide my back leg through and slide it back. We're gonna feel it in that mid or that inner thigh, okay? Slide and back. I can also just do my knee drive, okay? And that's working that inner thigh. Try it on the other side. Whoop. Flip over. Okay, I'm going to show you a different one for inner thigh too if this one is too advanced. So setting that shoulder blade back and down. Legs are one leg forward, one leg back. And again, slide forward, slide back. Slide forward and slide back. All right. Now, if that is too much for inner thigh, you can always take your squishy ball, put it between the knees. I sometimes use my foam roller. Again, I'm going to have those heels nice and close to my hips, and I'm going to squeeze the ball and lift up. Drop back down, squeeze the ball and lift up. As I'm doing that squeeze and lift, I'm targeting the inner thighs. I like to sometimes have my hands there to make sure that both muscles are contracting the same. We always have a dominant side. So just making sure, okay? That one is really good, even as a bit of a rehab exercise. So if you find you're having any problems with SI joints, pubic bone instability, anything like groin pain, this is a great one. Ball between the knees, contract and lift. All right. That was quite a few exercises. I'm going to open it up for anybody if you have any questions or comments. What were you guys all doing with your screens off, huh? Just kidding. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any anything?
With the curtsy maneuver, when you bring your leg up, your knee up again, I was finding the balance really hard to put my arm up at the same time.
Yeah.
Could I modify it and put it back like a skater move until I have more?
Yeah. You could modify that from maybe you just do sweeping up here until you're getting balance, okay? And then as you progress, lifting the arm up to finding that balance. But definitely, if you're just even wanting to come there, go back, target the glute, find the glute, and then work on everything else. Is that, am I answering your question right?
Yeah.
Yep, it's perfect. And you'll notice a difference. I mean, the minute that we start to engage and we add in longer levers, it's going to change the exercise. Absolutely. So that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Side plank, knee down. What is bottom foot ankle doing? Flex. You can flex it. It's not doing a lot. It's more that with my leg, if my legs are bent here, right? My foot, you know what? My foot isn't really doing anything because I'm really focused on pushing the knee down. You could totally flex it, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that's what you're asking about.
Yes. Yeah. So sort of just neutral.
Yeah.
Versus being flexed. Okay. Thank you.
You got it. Yeah. focus more on activating the bottom glute. Make that your focus.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's tons of other core exercises you can do for this, but definitely single leg balance. Running is a single leg exercise. You'd never know by my pictures, but trust me, it is. I like to run with both feet on the ground. I don't even know how you do that, but I manage it. So, but yeah, always think about that single leg. If you're in the gym working out, and let's say you like to do a lot of weights, you know, and maybe leg press is one of your things that you're doing, do a few single leg sets. Same with hamstring curls. Start to see the difference. You can do the hamstring curls with a ball. If you have a ball, you can start to do some single leg hamstring curls with that. I love doing single leg sit squats too. And that would be off a chair. And then I'm just gonna stand on my leg. Okay, stand up. I'm gonna touch down and press back up. And again, now I'm working strength, balance, core. You can see me, I'm all wibbly as I come to the top. I really wanna try and do that touch and lift instead of touch, sit back, have a coffee, and I'm gonna get up. So we're limiting that momentum to get you up, focus on the pure strength. That again, great exercise. And it has, you know what, it's really quick gains with that one too. So that's another one I would add. How often would you do this? You know what, with the single leg things, for myself, having a little bit of an injury that I'm nursing right now and having poor stability on my one left leg because of biomechanical issues, 3 times a week, I would be doing my single leg series. And again, sometimes I'll do them even before I run, and it just preps me. I get the stability, I get the activation. And then when I'm out running, I can actually start to think about, okay, do I feel my glutes working? Am I feeling my ankle collapsing or my arch collapsing? So tying it in like that, yeah. But you know, a couple times a week, even if you did it once a week, fantastic. But if this is the only strength that you're doing, I would say 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. And again, you can incorporate it. It's not going to take you very long to go through the 4 exercises, hammer out some, like if I did that as my warm-up, single leg exercises, I'm going to go do a heavy squat set. Then I'm going to do some core stuff. See you later, 45 minutes in the gym, out. So it really depends on your time commitment that you have. And again, yeah, I think it's time, but I think these are great bang for your buck exercises. Really good. Yeah. Anybody else? Right on. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely add in the core stuff is really important for running. We really want to feel that we can run from a strong core. And what does that feel like? Doing a lot of these exercises, even doing the lunge with rotation, it's great. I think about that a lot because at times I start to lose a little bit of my momentum and like, how is my body rotating? So when I exaggerate it doing some of these exercises, I actually start to feel it a little bit more when I'm running. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys know me by now. I'm Chatty Cathy. Can talk all night. My mother should call me Kathy, not Christine, right? But yeah, hopefully you guys, there are some takeaways from this. This is recorded, so if you need to, you can log back in once Dave gets this and puts it up on the website. Before we close up tonight, Monday, May 2nd, at, I'm going to say 6 o'clock is check-in. We are doing the spa run at the Scandinav Spa. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet at the Scandinav. We're going to go over a little warm-up, we're then going to go for a short run. The run might be modified this year. Normally we run through Lost Lake. Dave was telling me today there's still lots of snow on the main trails. Some of the smaller trails, there isn't a lot of snow, so we might do a little run through there. Great opportunity to work on your footwork. Or we might just take it onto the pavement, okay? So there will be something, and then we come back and we get to soak in the tubs. Best form of rehabilitation, rejuvenation, okay? Hydrotherapy, so good for our bodies and our minds. So you can sign up online, go to the website. I believe it's $42 for everything. And yeah, I hope to see you there. I'm going to be coming up for it. Of course, it's getting us off. Yeah. So yeah, so hopefully some of you guys will come out, join me, and yeah, we'll have some fun, meet in person, and yeah, talk about whatever else we need to. So everybody have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Christine.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.